Yep, you read that title right. I homebrewed the acclaimed Nixie Switches, and it didn't even cost me a penny. If we're talking technically, the given name for the Nixie Switches is the Cherry MX Black Clear Tops. Mine have literal clear tops, though they're not the same material as the Nixies. More on that later. To give a brief outline on the Nixie Switches, they have milky top housings made out of nylon, 63.5 centinewtons of actuation force, and an 80-gram bottom mount. They were originally manufactured for a German company called Nixdorf, which were used in their Softkeys Keyboards in the 1980s. The regular Cherry MX Black Switches, on the other hand, have black nylon top housings, the 60 centinewton actuation force, and an 80-gram bottom mount. This slight difference in actuation force and top housing is what set the two MX Black Switches apart. Yet both produce a smooth typing experience, retaining that scratchiness that is defining of MX Switches of old. To preface, there are a lot of sound tests out there for the Nixies. I don't have any on hand, so you'll have to go and look for the sound tests yourself. However, this is how my Nixies sound. They sound clacky with a smooth yet heavy feel and still retains that scratchiness, and it really does remind me of Cherry MX gaming keyboards from a decade ago. This is what we call a Frankenswitch. I have a stem. I have some housing. Frankenswitch. Pen, pineapple, apple, pen. Yeah. It's exactly as implied. It's taking parts from different switches and kit bashing them together to make something entirely new. That's more or less how the Holy Panda switches came to be. I actually had both Cherry MX Red RGB switches and Cherry MX Black switches on hand because I desoldered two separate keyboards. I have a video detailing my experience of getting the RGB Reds in the top right hand side of the screen if you want to see me struggling with that. So all I had to do was swap the top housings from my RGB Reds and my Cherry MX Black switches. So the inverse of this, the black tops on the RGB Red switches, also sound really interesting. Take a listen. For Cherry switches, these clear bottom switches, that's what I'm calling them now, sound scratchy, deep, and kind of creamy all at the same time. What's really interesting is the fact that these clear bottom switches actually have the milky bottom, an inverse of the Nixies, with a lighter actuation force and bottom out. Back on topic. The key difference between the clear housing and the black housing is the material. The clear housing on the RGB MX Red switches, which are in here, are made out of polycarbonate, whereas the milky tops on the Nixies are made out of a nylon blend. So from what I've heard from other people's sound tests is that they do sound clacky, but not as deep as normal Cherry MX switches. I made these because I wanted to experiment with different switches that I had lying around, and have created two Frankenswitches which sound way better than what they originally came from. And it's incredibly serendipitous that they just both happen to be manufactured by Cherry. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, by all means, give it a go. Just bear in mind that not all MX switches are made equally. Not all top housings will fit on the bottom housings of other switches, even though they come from the same style. So what do you think? Do you think my clear top MX Black switches hold up to the Nixies? If so, leave a comment down below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. There are a lot more of you now. There's like almost 180 people subscribed to my channel, and both of my previous videos have hit over 3,000 views, which just blows my mind. So I appreciate all the support and I hope you have a fun one.